What is going on, fellow reefers? No, I'm not here to show y'all my wife cooking or anything like that. Now, of course, she's gonna give me the face like, what the hell are you doing, Sean?
What are you doing?
I'm trying to record the box that's right behind you right there. Today, this right here is a shipment from drquarantinefish.com. 3 pyramid butterfly fish, and it is actually 6 o'clock in the afternoon now, and these got delivered around noon, but today I wasn't able to leave work early. Luckily, my son was home and he was able to bring them in and just leave them hanging out in room temperature. And so far, so good. So I'm not gonna show you all 3 bags. You'll see they all look like this, pretty good size. All of these have been already quarantined, so it took about 8 weeks for me to get these from the moment that I ordered them. But so far, I've always had really good experiences with drquarantinefish.com. So if someone asks, of course, I definitely recommend it. I did actually pay for these fish myself, so don't think that this is a sponsored video. For those that haven't watched before, you'll see that even though that these are quarantined, I will still do the safety stop, which is the rapid quarantine process. And I'll show y'all here this in a bit. All right, so here we are. I put them in a bucket with 1 gallon, and the reason for that is because I am using Safety Stop, Rapid Fish Quarantine. So this is a product that I guess is developed by Blue Life. So same people that have done the fluconazole and all that, those products. So this is supposed to be a rapid quarantine, and if there's one thing that I would recommend if you don't quarantine your fish is to definitely have these in hand so that you're always able to at least try your best to try to pre-treat anything that may enter. Now, I for sure will say that it's not 100% guaranteed. And so the way that you do this, it's part A, you drop it into 1 gallon of tank water and you let this fish sit in here for 45 minutes. And then you do another bucket with 1 gallon of water and you put the blue liquid in there, part B, and let the fish sit there for 45 minutes. And then you can put your fish in the tank. Even though, yes, these fish are quarantined, I feel a lot better using this just in case. And then I put them in my tank. And so far, in the last few years, everything's been good. If anybody knows me from previous videos, you'll know that I am very, very paranoid because I have been in a situation where I've had ick or velvet and I've lost a lot of fish and I've had to put a bunch of tanks around my house to try to quarantine all of them. And it's definitely not fun and very painful, honestly, emotionally, because of the fish that you're losing, right? So I'm gonna finish this process. It's gonna be 45 minutes in this bucket, 45 minutes in the next one, and then I will bring y'all back to show y'all what I do next. All right, as you can see right here, we have the pyramid butterflies on their 2nd bath now. And so we got about 15 minutes to go. Therefore, I'm getting ready what they're gonna go in right up here. So right up here, we have an acclimation box. So this is about 2 feet, about 1.5 feet actually, about 1.5 feet long and about 8 inches tall and 6 inches wide. And this is actually gonna go, I'm gonna put it right here in the middle. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll see that I've used this for the copper band. And the intention here is to make sure that the fish are acclimated to the tank and that the fish inside are acclimated to the new fish that are coming in. So I want them to be able to see them through the box, get their aggression out through the box, but they'll be able to cause no harm through it. And then after a week of being in here, hopefully if everything works out the way that it did with the copper band butterfly, there will be no aggression once I take them out in a week. In the previous video, I did say that I was going to do it for longer, but the biggest problem I had in doing that was that this box itself got full of algae and you weren't able to see the fish inside anymore. So that lasted about a week, and I'm thinking that it's going to be the same thing, and therefore just a week we'll have to do, because what's the point of having them in here if the other fish can't see them, right? All right, well, let me get to work and I'll show you once the fish are in there. But basically, I'm gonna dump this inside right now. Make sure that the magnets are on the outside. You'll see it in a minute. And then this top part opens up. And therefore, I'm gonna put the fish in there once it's inside and let them start acclimating. So we'll be right back after these messages. So here are the 3 pyramid butterfly fish. Now, I will say that y'all are going to have to forgive me because the lights are about to shut down and they are really blue. So I did put a filter on the camera itself, but it's definitely not picking up the colors the way that I see them. They are inside of this acclimation box, which is a reefing art acclimation box that I found on eBay. So just, you know, whenever you're in eBay, put reefing art and maybe even acclimation box and you'll definitely be able to find them. They have several sizes. One thing I will say, there is a con about this box compared to other boxes, and that is that it's flimsy. Because it's one of those that comes in pieces, 6 pieces, right? 1 for each side, and then you connect it through one of these little hooks. There you go. It's very flimsy, and so I feel like this will easily break if you don't take care of it. And there are other acclimation boxes that I've seen on saltwateraquarium.com, but those are like $80, and they're not as big as this. So that's why I went with this, because it's the largest that I was able to find without me having to build it myself. For now, yes, it might seem like a small little space for them, but in a large volume of water, they'll definitely do well in here until 7 days from now, when I will then release them into the big tank here, 8 feet of nothing but swimming space. So I'm sure they'll be fine in here. I feel like these are a must-have for every reef tank. They're considered reef safe. I've had some before, never had issues. But then again, no fish is reef safe. I mean, I've heard of like even blue tangs eating clams and, you know, eating LPS. So you really have to watch out with every single fish and just keep an eye on them. And you decide on whether you prefer the fish in there or you prefer the coral that they're eating. Aside from that, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you consider subscribing if you're not subscribed yet. For those that have come back that are subscribed, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. About 6 days already of these fish being in here, and as you can see, the acclimation box is already very, very dirty. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove them here in a little while, let them go into the tank so that I can then clean the acclimation box. But this is the reason why I'm not able to do more than really 6 to 7 days, because at this point there's really not a point if a fish can't see each other. And so I feel like hopefully, you know, the time that they've been in here has been enough for all the fish to get accustomed to it. So far I had success with the copper band butterfly, so I'm hoping to have the same success here with these pyramid butterfly fish. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so here we are. I cleaned the glass. This part I couldn't clean because of course this is on the way. But what are we going to do now? We're going to be releasing these pyramid butterfly fish into the tank. So let's cross our fingers. Let's hope that it all goes as planned. And there we have it. Now, one thing that I need to do right now to make sure that I try to reduce as much aggression as I can is going to be feed them. So let's go bring the food. As you can see, so far so good. There was a moment where I did see the yellow eye cold tang go and start nipping at him, and so I put the food and he deviated away from that and started eating. So as soon as this video is done and they're done eating, I am going to actually turn off the lights for the night and leave some ambient lighting in the hopes that the pyramid butterflies, like the copper band before, swims around and kind of finds its spot and gets familiar with the tank while the other tanks are going to sleep. And so what I think this does is it gives them the opportunity to kind of roam around the tank and get to know the tank, and that way you know, maybe it gives them a better chance for tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this episode, I'm going to ask you again and again and again and again, please hit that like button. If you are not subscribed yet, I really hope that you consider subscribing. Hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions down below or anything you'd like to see, like always, leave it in the comments below and I'll definitely respond back to you as soon as I can. All right, so what do we have going on over here? I figured that before we actually ended the whole episode, I could show y'all what I did and how the fish are doing. This is about 2 to 3 days later after the fact. So tonight is the night that I released this video. So this last clip is literally up to date, but the other videos, of course, have been recorded through different days, just the progress of these fish. And what I have here is a mirror. It's one of those full frame, full body mirrors that you normally would hang like on the door or something like that. And I figured, I've tried the little mirrors before, but you know, sometimes the fish don't actually swim in that area and therefore it was useless. So I figured, why not pull out the big guns and try this large mirror so that the fish would be occupied with their own reflection. Here's 2 of the pyramid butterfly fish, and I have to find the third one. I will say that the third one looks a bit malnutrition. He hadn't ate, but once now that he's been out of the acclimation box, I've seen him eat, but I have seen him also get bullied, and I'm afraid that that may cause him not to want to eat again and maybe cause some issues where I might lose him. So let's check out how these guys are doing. I'm going to remove this mirror now. The mirror's been up for about 48 hours. So let's recap what I've done. I put the fish in the acclimation box for a week, was able to get the fish to, you know, get acclimated to the tank, as well as the fish that were already in the tank get acclimated to the fish themselves. So that to me is very important. You want to acclimate both ways. Not just the fish that you're putting into the tank get acclimated to the water, but also the fish that are in the tank get acclimated to the new fish through an acclimation box. I then decided to release them towards the evening and turned off the light so that, you know, all the other fish would go to sleep and these fish would get a chance to get to know the tank and in a way kind of have a way to recognize where to go and maybe find their own little safe spot to get away from any of the aggressive fish. And then next, what I did was I put a mirror here, or actually no, let me retract. I actually then decided to keep the lights out for 24 hours just so that it would be a little bit dark in there. I don't know, my logic really is that, you know, the fish won't be as active in the dark and gives these pyramid butterflies a better chance. And then at the same time, though, I did add this mirror even when the lights were out. And actually, I would see some of the fish fighting with their own reflection. That being said, you know, by the next day, after 24 hours of the lights being out, I came back and I turned on the lights and I kept the mirror for another 48 hours. And now it's, you know, we're on Friday evening and I've decided to go ahead and remove this mirror now because I feel that they're doing a lot better and that the fish are being less aggressive with them. As you can see, you'll see the 3 of them over there. I think honestly they're definitely doing a lot better, even the thinner one. But you know, my goal is to feed this tank multiple times a day to try to get that thin guy bulked up and, you know, ready for any of the other fish's aggression. All right, so I need both hands to be able to remove all this that I have here. Being that I didn't really put any tape or anything to hold the mirror up, I leaned these things against it so that it would just hold up. I need to remove these, put them back where they go, and then I'll show you what the tank looks like right now. All right, so here we are. Let's focus. Here's one of them now. You'll see another one right here. And then the thinner one is right there. You'll see how thin he is. And you can capture all 3 of them in this shot. So overall, they're doing great. Even the smaller guy, he is eating. I am getting him to eat, and he's eating pellets. He's eating flakes. It's odd though, because frozen, he pecks at it and he eats some of it, but he doesn't eat as aggressively as the other 2. But he does eat flakes and pellets more aggressively than he eats frozen, which is a first. So we're gonna go ahead and feed these guys here. I'm gonna feed some flakes since earlier today I fed some pellets, so I'm gonna feed flakes now, and I'll give y'all a shot of that. All right, so this is gonna be the first time I actually feed these flakes to the pyramids. All the other fish have ate these, but this will be the first time I try it with the pyramids. So we'll see if they like them, because I've seen different reactions from different fish for these, but let's give it a try. All right, so far they've picked here and there, but they have not really committed to aggressively eat like they've eaten some of the other flakes. So I'm gonna call this one a not interested on these flakes for them. So maybe in a few hours I'm gonna feed a different type of flake, or maybe more pellets. But this will be it for the video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll definitely keep you posted as the weeks go by and see how these guys are doing in the tank. And until then, let me know if you have any comments, questions, or concerns. I'll catch y'all on the next one.